everybody, Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk, and thank you very much for joining me. This is today's project. Just for a change, it's not a card. I've made a picture, and if you stay with me, I'll show you how I did it. I've done some work ahead of time. I've cut myself a piece of shimmering white, and that's 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, and I've sponged So Saffron ink over pretty much where I want my tree to go, and I've die cut out the branches of my tree. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to put that on one side. I'm going to need that later. Now I've got the other part, the other die that kind of goes along with this, and I'm going to put that over the top, and I'm going to take that away, and I'm going to cut it out on my big shot. I will be right back. And there it is. So now I'm going to continue sponging this card. I'm going to do some more sponging on this card now, and I'm going to start with Pacific Point. And I am going to turn the sound down and probably going to speed this up. So talk to you in a bit. And now I'm going to move on to Night of Navy. And now some Elegant Eggplant. Now I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to go and clean up. So here's the piece that I die cut out of the background, and I'm going to do some sponging on this one as well. And I've got some, I don't want pumpkin pie, I want Peekaboo Peach, I think. So I'm going to start with some Peekaboo Peach. And I'm just going to give that some colour in the middle there. Okay, and I'm happy with that. And I'm going to get some Watermelon Wonder on here as well. Again, I'm going to put that on one side, whoops, to dry. Here's one last piece of Whisper White, which is roughly 3 3/4 inches wide, and I think that is probably about 4 inches. It doesn't matter as long as it is big enough for that to happen, okay? Just has to be big enough for me to be able to fit the other die cut on. Right, so for this one, what colour am I going to do? I'm going to start with Pumpkin Pie, I think. That's Peekaboo Peach, don't want that. I want Pumpkin Pie. Okay, and a great big swoosh. And what shall we have? Ooh, let me think. Let me think. Let's have some Watermelon Wonder. Again, I'm just swishing this on kind of any old way. Right, I want to stamp on this piece with this stamp, which is from the Thoughtful Branches set, and I want to make sure I put it in the right place. So I'm going to put this down, almost use it as a template, and I've got Tangerine Tango ink, which I think is going to look pretty nice and bright with this this colour. Okay, so I can kind of see where I want to go, and I'm just going to push down and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there we go. Okay, so I've pretty much finished with the inky bits now, so I'm going to go and wash my hands and I will be right back. I want to do some bits of stamping on this before I put it all back together, and I am using 2 stamp sets. I don't often use 2 stamp sets in a project. I like to stick with one, but I am going to be using Thoughtful Branches, and I'm going to be using this stamp, which looks like tufts of grass, and I'm going to be using Gorgeous Grunge because I want to use these splats. And I have basic black and Whisper White ink. I'm going to start with the basic black and the grassy looking bits, and I'm going to ink up my stamp, and I'm going to try and give my tree a bit of something to stand on. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's not glaringly obvious, okay, it's not kind of in your face, but it does stop my tree from floating in midair. It just gives it a little bit of a visual ground. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that, so I should put that on one side, and I have my Whisper White pad and my splats from Gorgeous Grunge, which I've splatted off. Excuse me for a moment while I put them back on. Make sure I'm using the right side of my block. One side of my block I have put a layer of, it's a clear cling film, it's called Invisigrip, and that helps the stamps to cling. I know some people just don't put the indexing on. I like to have my stamps indexed, otherwise I'm quite liable to put them on things upside down. So that is my solution. It's really, it's not expensive. It wasn't very much for quite a long roll. It's done all my, all my blocks and quite a few other things besides. And I got it from Amazon actually. So if you're looking for it, Invisigrip is what it's called, and it's sold for quilters to put on their templates. Okay, so I'm just gonna dot that down because I want this to look a bit like a starry night. And actually, I think I'll turn that over. Okay, and that I think will do it. Don't want to overdo it. When I started making this, I thought I was going to make a card. I thought I was going to make it into a card front. But as I've been making it, I've decided actually I don't want to give it away, so I'm going to make it into a picture, and I'm going to hang it on my wall. And I have here a very inexpensive frame from a well-known Scandinavian furniture supplier. I don't know how much it was, but it wasn't very much at all. They aren't. It's not. It's not an expensive frame at all. And I've cut myself a piece of basic black that will fit inside my frame, and that is what I am going to be working on. So to begin with, I am going to start doing some sticking and putting things together. Now I will say that I did go back to my originally sponged background, and where I just had the So Saffron, I did bring in just a little bit of Peekaboo Peach because it was a little bit too harsh, I thought, with just the So Saffron. So I'm just lining this up around the stamped image, trying to keep it reasonably straight. There we go. I am happy with that. And now I'm going to bring in my tree, and yeah, I think I'll put the top on that end because I don't want the glue spurting out that end, and I think I'll do the back of the hand trick. Oops. And again, if I'd thought about this ahead of time, I probably would have had a piece of plastic or something ready to use, but I didn't, so back of my hand it is. And as I always say when I do this, if you have sensitive skin, be careful, but you could put on a glove or you could do this on a piece of plastic and you will be just fine. So now that is going to fit into the middle there. Piece of paper towel, and that is looking pretty good, I think. I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so it's sticking to my mat, but not to worry. Okay, and finally, I'll get some adhesive onto the back of my card there, and bring in my piece of basic black, and I'm going to sort of try and center it. Now I've got more room on this side of the card than I have on that, so to try and balance it up, I'm moving the card so that there is more of the black background card on this side than there is on this side, and it won't matter because it will all be covered up by the frame. Here it is, all finished, ready to hang on my wall, and I am very, very pleased with that. I like that very much indeed. Now I know that quite a lot of you make your cards and your paper crafts and sell them to raise money either for your own crafty habit or quite often for charities and for good causes, and you are probably very well aware that there is a limit to how much people are willing to pay for greetings cards, regardless of how complicated they were to make, how expensive the supplies were, how much effort you put into the design. There is a limit to how much people will actually pay for them. But when it comes to home decor items, people are, for some reason, willing to give a great deal more. And this to me would be something that actually would look very good on your craft stall that you could sell. And Stampin' Up are very, very generous with their angel policy. They allow you to make and sell as many of using their products, as many as you like, as long as you as long as you have a stamp on there somewhere that says Images Copyright Stampin' Up. And we do sell a stamp set, I think it's called Better Than Snail Mail, that has those those stamps in it. So anyway, it's just an idea. But that is it for me for today. Thank you very much for joining me. If you want to find out more, check out the links below, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.